Hello, everybody, and welcome to Defending the Darkness, Episode 3, the online role-playing podcast where we discuss Attacking the Darkness. And boy, last week was, super interesting. If you missed it, here's what you missed out on. The party continued to crawl their way through the Gralhund Villa and up the stairs, in which they encountered the Gralhund's personal guards versus Zhentarim thugs, in which the thugs were put down thoroughly. They tried to intimidate them into going away and stopping, but with two nat 20s on my part, I made them kill them, more or less.
Those poor bastards.
Those poor bastards. So, after putting down the thugs and some discussions in which the Lord Gralhund groveling for help, they made their way finally out of the house, but missing an ever so slightly mechanical noise from outside, in which the Nimblewright that they had been hunting had escaped, unfortunately. Bringing Lord Gralhund back to their tavern and discussing what the next plan of action was, it was determined that Lord Gralhund was going to go ahead and he was going to leave for friends and escape the city while things got crazy. With a loaned, air quote, out of disguise, he walks his way out the door.
Yeah, you're welcome.
At the same time, Barnabas and Saith Cromley from the City Watch enter the premises, in which there had been a lot of evidence that would suggest that perhaps Granite and Penelope were involved in the Gralhund Villa massacre in some way, as they were seen by numerous living witnesses. But with some successful deception rolls and no real evidence to actually point at the characters other than the spear, which now Grim no longer has a spear. He will have to find
That's all right. I never hit with that thing anyway.
We'll have to find a new spear. The City Watch is left. And at that point, we ended chapter 3. And the entire party leveled up to level 4. And we will pick up next week's Attacking the Darkness at the beginning of chapter 4. But for now, we're going to go ahead and step into this week's Defending the Darkness to talk about what went on last week. And I'll start things off with one of the things that I was super interested about is I was curious to see if Nephmerax would betray Granite with the murder of the stable boy, because it was straight out murder. And
what do you mean betray? Like
tell the city,
like sell him out?
Yeah, like sell him out. I was curious to see, because it was straight up murder. It wasn't a justified kill. So I was curious to see where
Nephromax. I didn't think Nephromax was going to sell him out. That's why I was comfortable talking to him afterwards about it.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused by that assessment as well, because I'm like, why would I have like?
Well, it was
what put that thought in your head?
Well, it was straight up murder. There was no justified kill for that.
But is
I don't think that's really bothered me
someone
before.
who shies away from innocents being murdered, especially when he's the one that instigated it?
Hasn't Nephmerax murdered an innocent in this campaign yet?
He hadn't had the chance to, but he definitely.
There's been plenty of chances.
he nudged that hammer.
Well, he surely nudged the hammer, but he hadn't.
I'm sure Penelope would have ratted him out.
I'm curious about that too.
Penelope would have done something worse. She'd have blown the whole fucking campaign up. That'd have been fucked.
It was something I was curious about.
They took advantage of an opportunity to make some headway into some future stuff.
It was interesting. It was a very interesting setup. I'm sure we'll will come up later and pose interesting changes.
I mean,
It's forced Granite to make some internal look at himself more internally to see what's going on with himself.
well, this is why I named this episode "Growth," is because legitimately you see your characters now finally starting to take some different shapes. Granite, definitely. And in previous episodes that we've seen, Grim actually take a different path. It is the death of Zamul has really had an effect on this entire group, and to me, it's fascinating.
That was such a big turning point for us. And I think it added a dynamic to the story that's going to affect it throughout the whole campaign.
Well,
Yeah. And it was so early on, too.
Yeah.
true.
And extremely
Like-
unexpected, even for me.
Very
Yeah.
true as well.
I mean, I feel like it was at a great place as well, just narratively, because literally the session before, we took down a Mind Flayer, like, no problem.
Yeah.
Like, we were essentially feeling invincible at that point at level 1, and then the next thing we know, some random thug with a gun just lobs his head off. And
Yeah.
It was a drow.
But he was still a random nobody. He didn't even have a name.
True. He was just a mass murderer. I guess it technically kind of puts you into perspective, at least.
Yeah.
You are not invincible.
yeah.
Honestly, I think that was probably the best thing that could have happened for the group as a whole. I mean, let's be real. Zamul was a cool character, but he wasn't really overall useful for the group. He wasn't a good fighter. He forgot to heal.
Grim seconds that notion.
Shot first.
I think the only thing that he ever did was pull the party along as he kicked down doors.
True. Oh. So what was your? Let me get your impression on that. That last chapter, because that was chapter 3 of Dragon Heist. Better or worse?
Then what?
Previous chapters.
I would say better. But I don't know if that's story-wise or just us as a party doing better.
How about both?
Or all three of us. I mean,
Yeah.
you're also growing as a DM, so that shows.
I have learned so much now, and it's so damn fun being in this seat. I really like in truth be told, when I started all of this, I was super nervous about trying to run from the DM seat
Yeah.
because it's a lot of responsibility, but doing this, and now it's been, I think, close to 24 weeks now that we've been doing, almost half a year. We're getting close to half a year of doing this. I've gotten so much more comfortable now. And now I'm sitting there coming up with ideas for one-shots, and how can I make things more interesting, and here's some tech that I can put in to make this more fun for everybody.
Yeah.
It's so much more enjoyable on my end because I like telling the story because I know what happens, and then I like seeing your faces going, "Oh."
I think it's funny that you anticipate that we're going to do something and then we blow it out of the water.
That's true. That was very early on.
Oop.
I was uh-oh.
Curtis just DC'd.
Oops.
He'll be back. There he is.
There he is.
So, hold on one second. Boop. There he's back. Very early on, I really needed y'all to help me guide by the book because I hadn't really thought too far ahead and, okay, well, what happens if they don't want to do what's in the book? I was like, in some of the stuff in the books, it's like, hey, look, if the party starts to wander this direction or starts to do this, have a friendly NPC, put them back on the path. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, okay, I get it now. I understand how to do some of this now. It's like, I got an idea. And then y'all, like I said, I think I've said this before, earlier on, you're like, let's go talk to the Lord of the city. I'm like, you son of a bitches. Like, breadcrumbs for you to go inside this warehouse and beat some shit out of people, and you just wanted to leave. Like, what are you doing to me?
Well, let's be fair. The last thing
Yeah,
we really
see,
wanted
that
to do was
aspect
cause
versus
more
what
trouble
we
and
just
have the
did,
guards breathing down our neck even more.
uh,
Breaking into a warehouse and
I
killing
think we did a
people
better job
was
of getting
going to do
to
that.
the breadcrumb faster, even though we couldn't get over the damn wall.
True, and Cody, you also did make a very good point. Y'all were skitterish about the City Watch being aggressive, and through some failed rolls on your part.
To be fair to the group as a whole, every NPC we've encountered, except for like one or two, has been extremely abrasive.
And again, I have to go back to, you're not a super well-known adventuring party, so therefore it's, imagine in nowadays terms where if you were a vigilante and you're running around with a cape and a mask chasing down somebody who robbed a 7-Eleven, you think the cops are going to be happy with you?
Maybe.
The answer's no. The answer
I
is
mean, that's
no.
how we get a pat on the back and like an honorary badge and everything, right?
But you gotta
When you're-
remember,
at the
this,
end-
this isn't modern day cops. These are past cops. Like they don't have the reach that you do now. They don't have radio. They have us.
True, but also, I'm also playing how the module has said to play the cops.
That's fair. And to be fair, the rules for
Yeah.
the city are incredibly strict. And,
Oh, yeah.
a little
Yeah.
much.
So,
I can't get away. I cannot wait to get away from this damn city. I hate it so much.
well, this is your base of operations here. This is where your tavern is, Mr.
He's
Moneybags.
fixing to spend a lot out time of the city. What do you mean, Mr. Moneybags?
You
Wait,
and your
who's Mr.
4
Moneybags?
bars of gold.
Yeah, I
Oh,
got to
yeah.
do something with that before it fucking comes back on me too.
I think our big
Oh,
thing is to
shoot.
not leave so many hints for Daniel to screw us over later with.
That's what I do best. I try to make sure y'all are totally
Um,
boned if you give it to me.
Playing dumb.
Curtis is
should
frozen
not-
on my side and I can't hear him.
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh.
They'll probably need it. Remember, we had this problem sometimes.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Let me refresh.
Yeah, Cody might have to refresh.
All right, hold on 1 second, people. We're gonna do some tinkering around. Go ahead, Cody. Refresh.
Yeah, it's strictly on my side. I just noticed because he's moving on the stream, but I can't see or hear him. So
Yeah.
1 sec.
Oh, I actually have the same problem.
Oh, then I might be. Well, you
Okay.
guys refresh, see if it fixes. If not, Curtis can refresh.
All right. 1 second.
Yeah, hang on a second.
Okay, so it's not Curtis.
1 second.
Yeah, hang on.
All right, don't do anything yet. Matt, can you see Curtis now?
Okay.
All right, everybody's back.
Oh,
live.
Matt's now frozen for me. Awesome.
Oh, now I don't see Cody.
Okay.
Actually, I don't. All I see is Curtis.
Hey, that's all right.
No,
Who else do you need to see?
Oh,
yeah, so
I
I
hear
can't see or
Lucid,
hear
though.
Matt right now.
Yeah, well, TJ's on the same mic as me.
Hold on a second.
Oh my goodness.
okay, there's Matt back.
All right, how we looking?
He's live for a split second and then freezes again for me.
Yeah, I don't see TJ moving.
Amazing.
This thing had a hiccup.
Well, as long as
Gave
you
it
can
brain
hear us,
damage.
As long as you can hear us, that's the important part. Great.
Everybody disconnect and reconnect, except for me.
Everyone else is fine on stream.
Everybody's fine on stream. Everybody in rendezvous, pull out and then come back. Hey, I made a joke.
See, you called it out. You shouldn't have. You just let it sit there, and everybody's like, "Did he really just say that?"
We're waiting. We're waiting.
Everybody looks good. Oh, that's just me. That's just me.
That's TJ's fault. All right, can we see everybody? Are we frozen? All right. Let me push everybody back.
Question marks all
I'm
over the
returning
place.
everybody
Yeah.
now. Okay. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. We're back. We continue. Let's see. Okay. TJ, Penelope.
Yep.
How is Penelope feeling about all this? Because I remember last week you hinted that she was, because you weren't available to be on Defending in the Darkness. Now
Right.
that you're here, she wasn't too thrilled about breaking into the Grolhun's house.
Yeah, okay, so
Now, how do you feel?
not super good because I didn't do this interaction with Granite because time at the end, and I didn't want to make Curtis stay longer than he had to. But she doesn't like breaking into somewhere and killing a bunch of people. She understands killing, doesn't mind it when it's necessary. But I mean, as you've seen in her interactions in fights, she generally won't land a killing blow, but has no problem dishing out damage, incapacitating. She would rather knock
Hurting her
him out and
teammates.
get away. Huh?
Perfect teammate is what he said.
Perfect teammate.
No, I
Grim.
said hurting her teammates.
Oh, hurting.
yeah,
teammate. Oh,
that
I thought
was-
you said perfect teammate. I was like, well, I guess for laying it
Yeah.
up for
To be
somebody
fair,
else to
to
finish
be
it.
fair, that was not my fault. That was Daniel's fault.
Hold on. Okay, let's talk about that then. All right.
Okay,
You
I'll
cast a
explain.
spell
She
and
has
you-
animosity towards fire, so I understand why Daniel made that a possibility of happening.
Yes. You rolled a natural one
Yeah,
on an
yeah.
attack in a tight hallway.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I mean, I thought it was funny.
I did too. I was like, great. It's like Cody, roll a deck save. Go.
Yeah, the one thing I'm good at, and I rolled like what, a 5, I think.
I can't help it. I gave you the best opportunity.
It was once it was set in stone, it was happening.
Yep.
Yep.
I can't save you from your own rolls.
But like from Penelope's
Please.
perspective, we basically just hopped a fence. She was under the impression, hey, we're gonna do some tactical espionage action here. You know, we're gonna solid snake it up. As soon as we jump in, we kill someone who is just doing his job, as far as she knows. And then we go into the stable, we rob them, and then a melon gets squished in a room she can't see. And then we go into this house and we're just kicking in doors and no one's around, and then we go in and there's some bad guys, I think. So we fight them guys and we kill them, and then we're upstairs and beat the shit out of them, and then she gets in a shouting match with an old lady, and she was just trying to help, and she was mad, and Penelope didn't understand. She was just there to help. Why is she so mad? And then the cops showed up.
Hey, that is one thing, is because you have the mental capacity of an 11-year-old for your character.
Yeah.
You think you're doing all the world and helping, while the other character in her house basically doesn't want you there.
Yeah.
So that's I like that. It's interesting. It is interesting. It kind of makes it fun for the role play.
I love the strain it
So-
puts on the rest of the party, trying to wrangle up a freaking 11-year-old as she's shouting at old women.
Which is Granite's
That-
charge.
That was amazing.
That actually reminds me of a question that I had for you, Daniel.
Uh-huh.
How do you think things would have gone had I not pretended to be a City Watch?
Worse
Oh,
for
so
y'all.
much worse.
Way
Yeah.
worse for y'all. I don't think you would have had the ear of Lord Grolhund. In my opinion, because you're just strangers and not City Watch. So, Nephmarax adorning a City Watch-esque robe with his disguise was a very positive interaction. And then, of course, you using the Hat of Disguise as a City Watch to calm Lady Grolhund down, at least somewhat. I think that kind of lowered some of the difficulty of that you would have when you walk in. I mean, there's other ways that you could have diffused the situation, but that was probably
The best.
the best. That was the most optimal, I'll say, way to diffuse that
Awesome.
whole whole situation. So I mean, mad props. That's great.
Of all of our interactions, you've probably done the most optimal one somehow.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, just from the small interaction we've had with her, I don't think it could have gone any better than what it did because she is a raging bitch.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, y'all had learned previously that she is in leagues with the dark side of the city.
Now, she, in my
Yeah,
opinion,
but she is not trying to hide her snooty bitchiness
Yeah.
at
Well, she's
all.
also a noble.
she could have played it off, be like, "Oh, well, thank you so much for your help. You're so good." Get us in her pocket, and then boom, she's got some badass adventures in her pocket. No,
But
she's gonna
why
be an
would-
asshole about it?
But she doesn't need y'all because she has the dark side of the city.
Yeah, but her whole house was getting wrecked.
What was that ding?
I have no idea.
That was weird.
Her whole house was getting wrecked, and we came in and cleaned up.
True. But
Short-sighted.
Once I seen it going south, I was just trying to get the fuck out of there.
her guards had things under control. At least upstairs. It was a
Yeah.
four
Yeah.
on, it was a four on it was a 4-on-3 situation, but those guards handed those thugs their
Tough.
ass.
Yeah, those were tough.
That was actually some really good rolls on my part too. So, like, I seem to have some really strong rolls that game.
Can you turn up my audio?
Turn up your audio.
Yeah.
Okay,
my
hold on.
headphones.
Yeah, unlike me, who is the Nega DM,
Oh, that's good.
I never roll well.
That's about how it goes.
Everybody's got to have their Will Wheaton to their Matt Mercer.
Oh,
Cody's like, why me?
Cody's
the
our
Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
Yeah, Cody's our Will
Yeah.
Wheaton.
You don't understand though. My luck is terrible in every single game that involves like chance, like dice rolls, cards, anything like that. Drawing, my luck is horrible. The only game that I've ever played where it's not been bad has been Axel's campaign.
I find that fascinating that you just roll so poorly all the time. Statistically, you should have some good rolls.
Here's the thing: is I think it's a balance. Like, Cody can't undo the balance that Curtis is offset.
That's true. Curtis's character is not
Yeah.
way OP.
Yeah.
Curtis,
I finally-
who can't roll below a 10.
No, I
kidding.
did. I
Cody
finally
can't
rolled
roll
a
above a
7 the
10.
other day.
Yeah,
I rolled a
there was-
7.
Yeah, and it was Curtis's failed failure on strength check that allowed the
First guard to notice this.
no the Zentirum boss to get away.
Oh yeah. It's all Granite's fault.
I mean, he slipped him and then ran away.
I mean, Granite threw himself down the stairs to stop this guy, so it's not like he didn't try.
Well, you did. You were able to hold him for a round, and then dexterously man got away.
I got to tell you though, my favorite interactions is Nephmerax's. Well, nothing I can do about that. Time to move on to the next thing. Just turns around and walks back upstairs like, yeah, he's gone.
It's like, that's enough. I'm going.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the 500-pound turtle's just like, let me chase him. And
Rampaging through the house.
What's funny is the
can't see anything.
exact next turn I realized I had an ability that definitely would have helped that entire situation.
Really?
Yes.
What
Hold
would
on.
you have
Let
done
me pull it up.
differently? Okay. I'm curious what you would have done differently.
I would have. It was a spell. Hold on. I'm pulling up my spell list.
Dominate person.
No, I tried hold person. Oh, it was shatter.
Shatter.
Oh, Shatter's a good spell.
Shatter. Yeah, it's a 10-foot sphere, and does 3d8 thunder damage to all everything within the sphere, including inorganic materials such as wood or stone.
Oh, wow. You blow a hole in the floor.
So I could just destroy, like, that door that he shut behind him. I could have just shattered the door and exploded it off of its hinges.
We did have a conversation after it. I told Cody where the guy hid and got away from. I'll go ahead and share it with y'all. The room that he went into was the pantry, and inside the pantry there were many barrels of wine and water and ale. Dude slipped inside one of the barrels. Now, Cody rolled, if I remember, a perception of 15 when he got into the room. The stealth check that I made for him to hide was 16. I scraped by the tips of my teeth to get away from Cody. And I was desperately trying to get him away from y'all.
What was his health at?
He was 65 at that point. Y'all had taken
Wow.
He was over 100 when it was started. So y'all had been beating him down pretty
Jeez.
heavy. All I was
He
trying to
didn't
do-
seem like he was that tough.
He's a character. Almost said what he was. Let's save it for later.
Gotcha.
I'm sure
That
it'll
makes
come
sense.
back.
We would have totally killed like one of the final bosses just in the middle of the chapter.
We've already done that.
Wouldn't be
Well,
the first time we've thrown it
you-
off the rails.
You killed somebody that probably shouldn't have died, but nonetheless.
Yeah, that poor stable boy.
His ghost is going to come back and haunt us.
I mean, there's a place he can work with Liff at the bar.
Yeah, maybe we'll when we get enough money, we'll build a stables attachment onto it, and he can just work there.
Haunt the stables.
Yeah, take care of the horses.
I don't know.
We'll have to kill some horses to put some horse ghosts in there.
Horse
Only if I get to leave one
Oh.
of their heads in your bed, Matt.
Wouldn't bother me.
Oh man.
I've got so many good ideas for the homebrew campaign right now. Especially how the final boss for the homebrew campaign is starting to shape up. This is going to be wonderful. I'm so excited. But let's see. Outside of that, do y'all have anything that you wanted to cover from that episode? Because I know I've touched on everything that I was curious about.
I think.
Shoot,
No, because I mean, Granite had his opportunity to talk to Nephromax and open up about what was going on with him, and we've been waiting for an opportunity to try to get some backstory into the main campaign.
I actually really enjoyed that because while I enjoy fighting just as much as any other D&D guy, my like bread and butter is backstory, man. I love that shit. So when you were like, I want to talk to Nephromax about my backstory, I was all like, oh yeah.
Like, come on.
Like, oh, let me get a towel. Oh,
Then I jizzed in my pants.
oh! I hate that song, man.
I think, like, at least from the episode's perspective last week, it was a because of the situation that you're in. There was a lot more balance for that session. There's a more RP and then also battles. It felt much better, and I think that's probably because of the way the chapter was written.
Well, we went through so much narrative early on, and not having that dynamic yet of being able to interact with each other. It really made the first couple of episodes feel spotty and like they were just dragging because there wasn't anything to fill it in.
True.
And this last one, it had a good mix of both.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I think it's taken a turn for the better, and it's going to be very interesting to see where we come up with at this next chapter.
Now it's time for a shopping episode.
It's time to go shopping. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
It's
I gotta
about
go buy a
time for
new
us to-
spear, a new
yeah.
hat.
at this point in time, you know what you've got to take care of now as a party for the beginning of the chapter, right? Y'all have that. You understand what you're still doing, right?
We're still chasing down the construct.
Uh huh. You still got to catch.
Well, we have to
him.
locate it. What else was it? And then the stone that was brought up.
Stone of Galore.
Yeah, I almost forgot about the stone.
Don't forget about the.
We got to
Stone
see
of
what we
Galore.
can find out about it. With the promise of hundreds of thousands of dragons.
Money. I'm stalling
I
right
gotta
now
figure
because
out what to do
TJ
with those
disappeared.
gold bricks.
You just gonna turn them in for some money, man. That's what you're gonna do. Find some
I
money.
need to offload them somewhere.
Like, you need
Yeah,
to
you
hack.
can't just like go to the general store and be
I
all
can't
like,
just take it to the guy and be like, "Hey, man, here, what do you want to melt this down?"
I don't know. There's probably
should,
somebody that'll take it. You haven't
Probably
looked
a
in the
jeweler,
city for it
maybe?
yet.
We could
Actually-
probably ask Rainier.
I know a jeweler that's actually in the city that has not been introduced to anybody yet.
oh. Dun dun dun.
Daniel's
Backstory.
Who are you
I have
talking
to
about?
look. I have to relook at some stuff.
You have no idea.
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
That's interesting, considering I'm the one running the campaign and I don't know a character.
Exactly.
You haven't told me something. Then
I have not.
Can't wait till your character dies. Find out what.
Good luck
happened
with
to
that.
them. Find out. Well, you know what? I'm going to find a way to do so. I'm going to find a way to humble your character one of these days.
He's not
It won't
walking
be-
around thinking he's invincible.
It won't be bullshit. Well, I was gonna say it won't be bullshit, but I'm just like blown away. I have not been able to touch
It's
your
like,
character.
man, that's bullshit.
I will find.
I'm just gonna put this out here now. If Grim dies, he wants his shell mounted somewhere in the tavern.
Next to the shield.
There he is. He's
I'm
back
gonna-
now.
I'm going to take him and get him gutted, and I'm going to wear his shell on my back.
That's +2 to AC.
What's that?
Yeah.
I'm giving if Curtis kills Grim
Like-
and then guts him and wears his shell, I'm telling Curtis he gets +2 to AC.
It's dark.
That's awesome.
Don't tempt me. I've already been on the dark side.
Are you the big bad guy?
We're trying to
Honestly,
justify.
At
Well,
this
yeah, I
point in
don't
the
know.
campaign, I can't tell who's the bad guy.
That's exactly what I wanted to know. That's exactly what I'm shooting for right now. Nobody.
Grim
knows.
is pretty adamant that it's Penelope.
Grim. is Penelope.
You don't know, man. She's got a dark side. I mean, every character in D&D has a dark side because
Everybody automatically wants to say Nephromax, though,
That's-
because he
that's
is
just-
that.
his edge is on the outside.
He's an edge lord. All right.
He's the bad guy. He's not the bad guy.
All right.
He's
TJ,
misunderstood.
Do you have anything that you wanted to throw in about the last episode?
No, I kind of tossed in what I was feeling then.
Okay. Then we're going to turn to the chat right quick to see if chat has anything that they want to ask or question or anything. Anything DM related.
share your
anything that I've
opinions?
done, share your opinions. I will read them. I haven't done an email in so long. I don't think I could do an email anymore.
Email.
Email.
I was losing my voice last night and this morning, so taking it easy.
Well, good.
We love you too, Knightley.
I love you more, Knightley. You're great.
If we don't have anything from the chat, I mean, we can go to break and then move on to the one shot.
I'm okay with that.
I know everybody's itching for the one shot right now. Knightley is
She's not as ready as she thought she was.
Knightley, quick, stall. Think of something.
so
Knightley, if you don't get some people to start talking, we're fixing to start moving on.
we're getting close here. So I'm just gonna I'll give it a couple more minute. All right. Well, there's always Next Defending the Darkness for any more additional questions once you actually get a chance to get caught. Anybody get caught up? Episode 12.
I think we
will
need
be-
to take an opportunity to see where we are financially for the bar.
Yeah,
Nah.
because we haven't done our next week's wages yet.
You haven't hit a 10-day yet.
Yeah.
You're
Oh,
like
really?
You're
We're
like
like two-
halfway through a
It's been
10-day.
Yeah, but it's been so long.
I
For
know.
us, it's been so long.
For y'all, it's been so long, but for the characters, this has literally been like 2-3 days since the month that has, from the month that spanned where y'all checked up on the bar. It's been 2 or 3 days since that period of time.
I think
That's it.
I think we abandon the bar and just live in hotels
We have our own hotel. Why?
because we don't have to upkeep.
You can give what's his face,
Liv
Fruin,
Ruin.
Emmett Fruin. You're the
Oh.
crazy
Oh
ass guy.
yeah,
You can give him the
the
bar.
little
Oh.
asshole that wants to buy the bar for 500 gold.
He's also attacked us. Apparently,
Did he attack you?
we don't know.
You don't know. All you know is you were attacked by were-rats.
Yeah, I still have no idea who Emmett Fruin or whatever his name is. who he
weren't
actually
here
is.
for that. He
I wasn't there.
He was a little dude.
Oh, that's right, you were.
Yeah, I went back to watch the episode and I was like, oh shit, that was the week he was gone.
Wow.
So he was this little dude and he come up to the bar and I answered the door and I open it and he's yelling, give me your bar, 500 gold. And I'm yelling back at him, no. And I just kind of went like that until he slammed the door in his face.
I played that character way different than he was written. I think I had more fun doing it my way. Because now I've set up some sort of crazy ass encounter, which technically could be a side adventure for y'all. So I've opened the
What,
door.
and having to kill a were-rat infestation in the bar wasn't big enough?
That was an awesome one shot. Thank you very much.
That was a lot of fun.
It was.
That was nothing but bloodshed, and you got a magic hat out of it.
We had 2 of them, but we lost
I-
one. Some bullshit.
Hey.
I am so mad.
Blame Daniel.
Daniel was hunting for that hat back. He's like, I only wanted them to have one.
Yeah,
Once
he
I have
was.
an once I have that opportunity, boink, and you gave it to me, but it saved your ass. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was well
if they'd
worth
have
it.
seen him walk out, oh my god, I would have
If-
gone out the back door and on the run.
Okay. Little behind the scenes stuff on this. One, if they would have seen him walk out of that bar, one, Granite and Penelope both would have been put to death.
What?
Yeah.
For what?
For breaking and entering in a noble's house.
That's not against the law. We looked.
We looked at it, but it's still still anything.
It would
Also
fall under
didn't break
assault.
anything.
Basically anything that was involved with the noble, a noble is basically death. If you look at the town rules.
I wouldn't have been put to death. I might have died in that bar, but Penelope ain't going down not fighting.
Oh, if they
Burn that
think they
whole
were
side
going to
of town
take,
down.
yeah, if they think they were going to take Granite out of there, I would have took out a bunch of those guards first.
There would have been. I can guarantee you would have an opportunity to escape,
You'd have been starting that homebrew real soon.
but legitimately they would have come back with like an army of veterans to put y'all down. Well, put down Penelope and Granite because y'all two were the ones that were seen. Nephrax and Grim were hidden from view because they were magically altered. So y'all would have been fine. And then Abigail would have been fine. But because they can't
Yeah.
really tie the spear to Grim. It's just a spear.
Yep.
So
Nothing
Turtle
special about it.
DNA.
nope. Turtle DNA.
See, there were
we got CSI.
there were many times.
CSI Waterdeep.
God. There were so many times where I considered pulling out the pistol to use to try and intimidate someone by like firing it. And I was like, no, I'm still not good with that. I need to actually set some time aside to use it and to train. And if I had done that at any point, they would have been like, there's a bullet here.
Not only that, there's not many pistols that are out there in the city.
To be fair,
Yeah.
no one knows he has that pistol except us.
True, but if the police would have found it on him, that could have been damaging for him.
They didn't really seem
Could have
all
been.
that into arresting us. I mean,
Look, well, but like I said, when they went into the house to go in to interrogate,
yeah.
the DC level was really low because they had all they had was a whole bunch of word from a whole bunch of people. There was nothing truly tying y'all to the property. It was descriptions.
I mean, sure, Penelope could get away with it because she didn't really use a ton of her powers that people would have seen. The only ones that saw it died. And Grim stands out. I mean, the bear-like man that's 7 feet tall. There's probably not
Granite,
a lot
you
of
mean?
him. Granite, yeah.
Yeah. But nonetheless, it is still all circumstantial.
Well,
Because Waterdeep is a huge city.
yeah,
And there's probably more than one shifter that's in Waterdeep somewhere.
possible.
I haven't found them, but there's probably more than one. So, at that point, like, legitimately, if I'm the City Watch and I'm sitting as the City Watch, I can't arrest y'all because of that. There's nothing tying you to it.
I expected us to have to go in for, like, do a lineup.
Lord
Like, who is that?
Lord Grawlhund would have been the tying factor for y'all. And I was super interested when you took him back with you. I was like, oh boy, how is this going to play?
Oh, where's this gonna go?
And it was
Yeah.
perfectly met with, all right, sacrifice the hat to keep the game going.
Yep. Because if we didn't get him the fuck out of that place, we were screwed.
I would have recommended Cody's character escort him to the gates. Like, get him out of the city, bring back the hat. That's what Penelope would have done had she been awake.
She had 11-year-old hat hair and half awake.
she wasn't feeling great. She had a long night.
All right. So,
Cocktail ninja hangover.
all right. Well, I guess at that point, we'll go ahead and call it into Defending the Darkness. Next week, we have Attacking the Darkness. We start chapter 4, so look forward to some more exciting story and adventure. It's gonna get really hectic coming soon. For everybody who's watching right now, please stay tuned. After a short break, we are going to be debuting our newest member to Attacking the Darkness with her very own special one-shot introduction for her character. And I hope you all enjoy it because I have put some effort into this to make sure it's enjoyable. And we're debuting new tech as well. So whenever you debut new tech, it's always exciting. So please stay tuned, and we will be right back. Whoops.